Trapped by the belief that I'm not good enough, bound by the limitations and the lies that consumed my world, this was me. It wasn't until I took the biggest leap in my life to know and trust the power within. And it was at that moment I made a choice. My past will not define me anymore. Hello, I am Teri, and I know I am not alone in this. Over the years, I have found that the number one mistake that we make is that we get in the way of our own success story. Yes, I said it. On this show, together we'll tackle limiting beliefs, self sabotage, getting stuck, fear, doubt, overwhelm, and the imposter syndrome. Join us on this journey designed to transport you beyond your limitations to a world where anything is possible. This is Talking with Teri. Hi, and welcome back to Talking with Teri, where we have transformational conversations to transform your life and your business. And today's guest, I'm super excited. She's coming from the UK. Tara Chatzakis is a fast becoming an industry thought leader in her field, making waves in coaching industry as an executive coach by using strategies and techniques from her training with Dr. Joe Dispenza from The Secret, Tony Robbins, and the Robbins Madness training. Tara is a speaker and a podcast host of the number 24 UK chartable show, Happy, Inspired, Motivated. Welcome, Tara.
Hi, so glad to be with you, Teri, today. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing fantastic. So I want to dive in, and I want the listeners to hear more about you and just how you came to be where you're at today. So if you can just give us a little overview,
Yeah, so a quick rewind to 2009, and I was going through a lot of problems in my marriage, and I was having a bit of a breakdown at the time, and I had a universe hug, which made me feel really safe and secure, quite literally a proper hug. And I felt really supported. So from that moment on, I started researching and finding out everything I could about the law of attraction, energetic vibrations, manifesting, anything to do with that field, the quantum field. So I did lots and lots of work and research, and I attended seminars and did trainings and read everything I could get my hands on. And that basically brought me to where I am today. So I use these kind of techniques in my coaching. I also have the Robbins Madness coaching as well, which is a form of life coaching. And that also helps me to transition my clients from employee to entrepreneur.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, we have a similar background because I did a deep dive around that same time frame.
Wow.
Same thing, like just learning about the law of attraction, and then of course, like that was what was the beginning part of it. And then of course, as
Yeah.
you research down, you go down these like rabbit holes, and you're like, oh,
Yes.
I mean, it is pretty amazing to start to unpack everything that we may not have known before. It is pretty
It gets
amazing.
overwhelming though as well, doesn't it, at some points? And there are certain stages I stopped. I was like, I can't go any further. I need to just digest what I've learned. So I would go off for a little while, and I would stop completely, and then something would make me get started again. And then obviously the next time you go in, you've got a different mindset, so you absorb things differently. But yeah, it's quite deep stuff.
And I think every time you absorb, like every moment, I mean, I could read the same books over and over again, and they would have a different meaning, a different takeaway, a different place of implementation in my life, because we change as we grow, right?
Definitely.
It's powerful stuff. So what I love having the guests or the listeners hear about is, I love hearing about your personal transformation story. Like, what was that moment when and I love that you said that you got a universal hug, and maybe that was the moment, or maybe it was a different moment, but where was it in your life that it was like, okay, it's almost like you have to have that breakdown to have that breakthrough, right? Where
Yeah.
was that moment for you? What was that like for you?
So the first time was back in 2009, because before then I'd been of this mindset that I couldn't change anything in my life, because this is what I'd built, and this was going to be my life. And until when I had the hug, it made me feel that actually I could change things and do what I wanted. I didn't have to stay stuck. So that helped change me. It helped me change my relationship. So I left my husband, came back to the UK, and things changed from there and grew from there. And then I had so I did my coaching sort of like part-time alongside another job. And then it was last year that I had another hug. So I'd said, okay, this is it. This is, when you get to the point where you're just like, I can't not do this anymore. I have to do this full time because this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I wake up and I long to do. So I was like, yeah, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit the job. And then I was like, oh, when you get scared, you're like,
Yeah.
maybe not, maybe that's a bit hasty. And
Yeah.
then I had another hug, like, come on, Tari, honestly, it's going to be safe. And I was like, okay. So yeah, so I took the leap and I did that. And my life has just been, it's just not been the same since. I wake up and I get excited in the morning, and I have so much more energy and enthusiasm. And I'm working with people to help them get the same level of enthusiasm and get them feeling excited. It's just the best job that I could do.
Yeah, I know exactly what that feels like because you're singing my song, girlfriend. And I think that I think it's easy for us to when we've gone through something very difficult and very
Mm,
at the time, but take yourself back for that moment, like okay, you're in this transitional period where you are making this choice because that's not an easy choice. And as you kind of grimace there, you could feel like you're like, oh yes, I think we can all resonate with those
yeah,
difficult times, right? Where, and I think sometimes, like in my experience, whenever there's been a big breakthrough,
mm,
there's been a lot of intensity that comes right before that, right? Like
mhm,
there's this, questioning ourselves, doubting ourselves, can I really do this? And
definitely.
and and it's mixed in with all this uncertainty and fear and excitement and you know what's going to happen, and it just feels sometimes like it can be very overwhelming.
Mhm.
What did you do? I mean, besides making the choice of like, I'm gonna leave this, but what was it in that moment that was helpful for you?
When you're going through that kind of change, like you say, you have a lot of fears that come up, and that's basically your ego trying to keep you safe, saying if you stay where you are, you're going to be all right. I'm going to protect you. If you're going to do this new thing, you don't know what the outcome's going to be. So internally your body's saying, or your mind's saying, stop, don't do it, but you know that this is the right choice to make. And I think if you don't, well, I thought if I didn't make the leap, if I didn't push myself to do something that I felt highly uncomfortable doing, um I wouldn't grow. And every time I've done something that is, I might just admit it's a little bit uncomfortable, and I'll grow a little bit more, and then so my comfort zone will expand, and then I'll do something a little bit more uncomfortable, and so it'll expand again. But this one was like a massive leap out of the whole bubble. um, and that was really scary. But I just knew that if I did it, then it would be all right at the other side. So I had to make myself do that, and it did scare me, and it still scares me. Why? What the hell? And you think, oh, maybe I need to, maybe I should just get back and get another job, because people say to you, you need a proper job. And when you're doing your own work, and this kind of work especially, because it's not something that was around like 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So to a lot of people, coaching isn't a proper job. But when you see the results that you get from your clients, and you see the results that or the difference that you make in their lives, then it's just worth it all the time. And it
Yeah.
makes you feel so um it's, well, I don't know what the word is. It just makes you feel different.
Yeah. Well, I hear you and I understand that. Like, and it's powerful. And so the message that I'm taking away from you right now is, do it scared,
But
because
do it.
yeah, but just do it, right? Because I think
Yeah.
you're right that we have those two inner voices, and one is saying, do it, do it, do it. The other one's saying, no, no, no.
And at some point, we have to make the choice that's going to make the most for us. And I
Mm,
truly believe that we're human beings and we are here to grow and expand. And we can make that choice to stop growing. Um, but I feel like from folks that I've spoke with that made that choice, they
mm.
feel regrets and they feel like they've settled, and they will say time and time again, and oftentimes it comes through after they have their own children and they're giving the message, don't settle, don't settle, don't settle, right?
Yeah,
They know
just
that
do it.
lesson,
Yeah,
just do
yeah.
it. So, I think
It's
that's
like that picture that you see where there's a there's the guy digging a tunnel and the diamonds are there and he's just like 2 inches away and he just quits
yeah,
just before he breaks that breakthrough. And that happens so much because you're going and you're trying to build something or do something which is uncomfortable, and then you say, okay, no, this isn't right. I'll let the ego take over and I won't do it, which is what I nearly did. And then I would have been so close to the breakthrough. Like I said, you've got to break down to break through, and it's true, you do, because it is a lot to take on to do something like that. And I know many people don't do the whole quit the job and do something. They might take it in stages and take it a little bit easier, but it's still making a start to do something different, and that takes a lot of guts to do that.
absolutely. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of, gumption to be able, like, I'm going to do this. And even
Yeah.
if people are family members or friends or people are saying, no, 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 take the safe way, take the safe way. It's so much easier. Just why are you doing this? I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I've made big choices in my life, I got from people that, why are you doing that? Like, why are you doing that? You don't have to, right? But
Yeah.
but when and I think I love, you know, helping even my clients like tap into that knowingness of
Mm.
what are you being told that this is what your path is. Because I think sometimes we are so afraid of actually vocalizing that, because if you vocalize it, and I always tell people, like, be careful what you vocalize with me, because we're doing it. We're doing it. I actually say that after they've said it, because I'm like, I just want to let you know we're doing this now, because I think, we're sometimes just afraid of our own power, right? Like are
Mm.
afraid of our own, breakthroughs, or afraid of our own capacities to really show up in this planet and really serve in a bigger
Yeah,
way.
and when you say it out loud, you're kind of committed to it as well, aren't you? Because people would say to you, "Didn't you say you were going to do that?" And you're like, "Damn, yes, I did." So
Yeah.
you have to follow through because you've already said to somebody, "This is what I'm going to do," and that was a big thing for me as well, to say, "I am going to do this," rather than just doing it in the background and keeping it quiet and just hoping nobody would notice.
Yeah.
Making the conscious effort of saying, no, this is me, this is what I'm doing, I'm standing up and I'm showing you and I'm telling you this is going to be my future, this is going to be my life. And people's reactions, like you say, they're worried for you, they're looking out for you. Thankfully my kids are really supportive and they're like, no, mom, do it, you're going to be great, it's fantastic. So I had their support behind me. But some people are scared for me, and well, that's fine, but that they're just imposing their limitations on me
Yeah.
by being scared, and that doesn't hold me, that holds me back rather than helps me.
Yeah. And do you ever find yourself, because I find myself sometimes when I've had someone, because it's ironic that we're having this conversation right now. I mean, everything's divinely timed, right? I'm in this, like, I'm on the precipice of a huge breakthrough, and it's scary and terrifying, and it's all the things that we
Ooh,
just described. And
excellent.
it's, and I had someone just recently, just, kind of in a very negative way, say some really mean, hurtful things
Oh,
about just going for it, right? And I was just like, okay. And it's like inside, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna put that here, but then I'm like, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna use that. I'm using that as fuel,
mm,
right? Like I use that as, like, I'm like, okay, thank you for your information, and I'm gonna just use that for my fuel. And it's kind of like that, watch me,
yeah.
that place of, like, not coming from a place of soul ego, but just like, okay, like, I feel like that in some way is serving me, and to be like, okay, I'm gonna continue to create, without having this, Debbie Downer, you know,
Yeah.
be a part of that. Right. So I don't know. I think we can use, things that are thrown to us. And so, because
People
I
that throw the bricks at you, so if they throw stones at you, you got to collect them and make a house out of those stones.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. Right. And it's like, okay, I'm going to use that to my advantage, because I think so often when people are innovators, when they are dreamers, when they are the, the people that are here to do big work, I think sometimes it's, some people don't understand, that piece of it. And so I think that, we can use that to our advantage too, instead of having to take it away or break us down and make us feel less than, not good enough, or, whatever that might be for folks, as far as like, like saying, oh yeah, maybe that one person is right versus the, my knowingness, or,
Yeah, so you've got to
all the
trust your
other.
feelings, haven't you? You've got to trust yourself, and we don't. We put more trust in what other people say about us and our strengths and what we can achieve than what we actually know ourselves inside. And
Yeah.
that's just crazy, isn't it?
Right. So I think,
Mm.
if we can take that and use it to our advantage and say, okay, this was showing up for me for something. And yesterday I was walking to the mailbox, and I was on the phone with my staff member, and I just started laughing, and I was like, and she's like, what? And I was like, I just had the awareness. And then I shared her what the awareness was, and we just both bust out laughing, and we're like, oh, there it is. And so we can turn something that was negative into
Mm.
something really profoundly positive. And so it's the matter of just, sticking with it and, playing with it. So, because I think every time we expand beyond that vibration, and I know I can talk, comfortably with you, because I think we talk
Yeah,
the same language.
yeah.
Every time we expand beyond that next vibration, we're met with this new environment, right? This new
Mm.
place and space of a vibration, which is like you said, going outside your comfort zone. It's expanding outside that, but
Yeah, of
also
course it is.
expanding into that new vibrational, where more possibilities live, and more I don't know, just yummy nuggets are living there for us, right?
I mean, the further you expand, that you grow, of course you're going to hit more and bigger obstacles, because it's like like you say, you've got to push through to get to the other side. And if if you've got this tiny circle that you're in, it's not a lot of surface area that you've got to break through. And
Yeah.
as your circle gets bigger, and you've got like this beach ball compared to a tennis ball, that's a lot of area to break through. So it's going to be some larger things that come up, um in your feelings, in how you react to things, and your self-worth, imposter syndrome and feeling like that, especially when you're going towards this massive breakthrough and you're there, and then it's like, oh, maybe I can't do this, maybe I'm not good enough to do this. And that comes up quite a lot for people when they're on the verge of doing something great. And you can sort of take that as, if you're feeling like that, then you know that you're on the right path.
Yeah. Oh,
Because,
that's beautiful.
yeah, otherwise your ego wouldn't be trying to stop you. If
Exactly.
it knows that you're on the right way, and you're going to expand and learn new things and do amazing things. But it's so much safer just to stay where you are. So you're obviously on the right path if something's coming up.
Exactly. And so for the listeners who are listening in, I mean, some gold nuggets in here, right? One is just, always believing in yourself, and no matter what is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And when those tough moments are coming up, when that place of resistance is showing up, it is powerful, to be in that place of resistance and be able to say, you know what, I'm going to make the next best step forward to go through that resistance. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the more we go through life, the bigger, our
Yeah.
the bigger the bigger the barriers in some ways, but also the bigger the breakthroughs. And in my experience, every time there's been a breakthrough, it is a massive, it's almost like bigger the breakthrough, the bigger the results, or the bigger
Yeah. Bigger the reward, isn't
the
it?
bigger the reward on the other side is,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I remember listening to Tony Robbins, and he was talking about giving away sort of a certain percentage of your salary every month, whatever, and doing that from the beginning. So, you know, when you, and he was saying, some people say, no, I haven't got a lot of money, so I can't do that. And he was saying, can you imagine it's how much easier it is to give away, for example, $10 of your salary every month. But when you're really, really like successful, giving like 100,000,
Yeah.
that's really difficult. But it's the
Yeah.
same percentage of your success, for example.
Right.
But it's, you know, it's so the bigger it is, the, you know, the more that you have to give and the more you have to go through, but it's the same percentage, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it is like, and if you started early, I like this, because if you started early, it's starting to create a habit, but also it's a stair stepping, right? So, you know, giving $100, and then, you know, you can get to the place of where that's easy. And then you go to, you know, maybe that's $1,000. And then, you know,
Yeah.
right. Like you continue to stair step. And as you stair step it, you know, it's not throwing the ego out of place because it's a gradual increase, right? But it's a great habit to start with, to play with that. And so if we tie that back to our, you know, our metaphor with the comfort zone, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Same muscles that we are firing to get out of those, you know, that comfort zone is the same muscles that we're going to do it from, you know, that one step,
Yeah.
or to your like leap of faith of saying, I'm going to make a choice to leave this company, right? And so it's the same muscle. And the
It
more
takes the same courage.
it takes the same amount of courage. Yeah, and it just is working that muscle. You know,
Mm.
and it is, you know, it is one of those things that we have to give conscious, you know, energy to make this choice to say, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm worth it, and I deserve more. I deserve to be seen. I deserve to be whatever that is for that, you know, that person.
And I can do this. I can, you know, I believe and trust in myself to have the capabilities to do this.
Yes. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful way to end this today. So lots of little nuggets, and, you know, how do people reach out to you? How can people connect with you and the work that you're doing?
Through my website is tarachatzakis.com. I'm also on Instagram. You can find me Tara Chatzakis. So I'm over there quite a lot, and I do lots of like videos and things that people can have a look at. And yeah, and my email is tara@tarachatzakis.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll put all that information into the show notes. So take a look at that. And if this resonates with you and something that came up that said, gosh, you know what, let's take a look, go check her information out. Delightful to connect with you. And I look forward to staying in touch with you.
Yep. Great. Thanks for having me, Teri.
I am so grateful that you joined me for this episode. If you've enjoyed this, then there's just one thing that I would like you to do. Click to subscribe and leave me a rating and review. As my way to thank you, let's connect for a free consultation. Just reach out to me at talkingwithteri, that's TERI.com, to book your time.